Yo, what's up, guys? Getting your live stream going. So, yeah, I've been thinking about motivation. What motivates us? Where does it come from? Where does that feeling that can drive us forward come from? Motivation is central to human life. Every day we go about our day, and as we're going about our day, we are basically learning new information. I see motivation as synonymous with learning. And the reason for this is because if you study psychology, you start to discover that basically. Learning and motivation go hand in hand. And you have to understand what motivates individuals. So in this video, I want to ask you really what motivates you and have a conversation about motivation. I think it'd be interesting to see if idealists, because I think most people here are idealists in their temperament, to see if similar things motivate the idealists, those intuitive feelers, for example. So I'm going to go live and just hang out for a little while and see if we can't have a conversation about that. I'm going to get some water. I'm thirsty. Motivation. Is it lacking in your life? And if so, do you know why? What do you need to motivate yourself? What kind of unique needs do you need? Looks like we've got one person here, whoever you are. How's it going? Are you motivated? Curious to hear what people think about motivation. Let's see. So what kind of spurred this video was I had coffee at like 4. So I am up and I am firing on all cylinders. Maybe regrettably so. Might be a difficult night's sleep, but what's up, Dreamer? How's it going? I definitely lack motivation right now, LOL. Most of the time, though, making my friends happy seems to be what motivates me. Interesting. That is, yeah, I can see that. It also motivates me to make other people happy. I mean, I think that's the real secret to being happy. It's getting those relationships right. And then in the relating capacity, really reinforcing, and you could even use the word manipulating the other person in the relationship to receive that feeling, that social reward that really comes from reciprocity, liking, affirmation, etc. Because yes, relationships basically act on our motivational pathways. Alcohol Anonymous is very effective for treating people with addiction because you have that, right? Not only are you working with people to kind of disclose what's going on, but you're actually at the very same time, you're activating that social reward system in the brain. Yeah, it seems like social is the primary driver to motivate us. Really the cream of the crop, I think, the people who are most rewarded by life or motivated to continue to live life are willing to make those connections, Part of a big interest of mine is how people tend to live longer who are more socially interconnected. It's that interesting conversation that I think needs to be had because we tend to not think about that, It's difficult. So, just because I think you guys would all appreciate it, I've got my Keep Calm, I'm an INFP thermos thing. Um, so, I don't want to like get into it too early, but I wanted to get more engagement out of this, before I started rambling on. See if I could get some more people on first. Um, Only downside to this is, and it seems to me what I'm going through right now, is how do you motivate yourself when it seems like what you're doing is disappointing them, even if you aren't actually disappointing them anyway. Wow. Yeah. I mean, if you feel like you're disappointing other people, but you're not, that's confusing. That is confusing. I guess I would say, like, how do you get in touch with the fact that you are not disappointing them? How do you believe that? You have to inculcate that belief that those people you're trying to love do in fact appreciate and value you. I mean, maybe you need to go that extra step to ask them for their affirmation. If you are more of an insecure temperament, you're going to need people in your life that are going to help you feel more insecure some of the time. I don't think there's any shame in being honest about that. I have talked a lot about temperament on these videos. There's good evidence to suggest some people are a bit more self-conscious, and maybe that's what's happening. Maybe you're just self-conscious. So you need to kind of step outside of that self-consciousness to receive some level of basically affirmation, like that extra sort of pat on the back, if you will, that it's going to be okay. I'm not disappointed in you, just a guess. Tell me what you think. So I'm going to take an active role here. I'm asking you guys. I've got 6 people here. Only one of you has contributed. I want to hear what motivates you. Are you struggling with motivation day to day? If so, why? What has helped motivate you in the past? I want to have a conversation about motivation. It's interesting to me because I, as an individual, have struggled to remain really motivated. I have managed to maintain, I guess, at least a decent enough level of motivation to continue forward in pursuit of like my educational goals, etc. But it's difficult, how do we get that consistency in our lives as dreamers, as idealists? Do you struggle with it? Because I'll be the first to tell you, I always feel like a baby, an infant, in my ability to actually motivate myself to follow through on my aspirations. Nice, Chad. Get it done. I hope you get it done. By the way, I'm just going to brag a little bit. The room is very clean. Check it out. Not the most exciting room, but as you can tell, things are in their place. It helps kind of to a degree, but really what helps me the most is identifying a goal, okay? A goal that is meaningful, worth pursuing, and then actually kind of knowing that day to day you're meeting many goals in pursuit of that bigger goal. And sometimes that can be really tough, but yeah, you need to have the baby steps towards something, I think, to really kind of get that motivation going, I hate to admit it, but I'm inconsistent. I am. Hello from Japan. What's going on? Konnichiwa. 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 So the facial hair is coming back, but it's at that stage where I'm like kind of itchy. It's kind of irritating. You know what I mean? Yeah, I wish I could hear you say something in Japanese. That'd be great. Tell me what motivates you, all right? I want to know. We've had 3 people comment. Thank you for the contribution. Chad Garnham. I don't know if I've ever seen you comment before. What motivates you? I mean, clearly you're motivating your room, but to what end? It had me thinking, in general, it's hard to be motivated for me without giving the activity some context. Like, yeah, I want to kick some ass and take names and be awesome and successful and all that. But to what end? And it seems like it has to be grounded in some kind of idea of being a better person. A better person as in like a uh, morally, ethically, spiritually, just a more kind of enriching presence in the world. Uh, Setting forth to do the right thing is what kind of drives me the most. To actually do the right thing, not think about it and dream about it, but to kind of be that person in the world. Um, so that's kind of what helps me. Let's see. Austin, I think finding purpose in our lives, what can make a difference for others. Sometimes we lose touch of what makes us unique, and I think finding that helps us see where we fit in the world. It can, it certainly can. Finding purpose, losing touch, makes us unique. Interesting. Yes. Yeah, but how do you know who you are? What do you have to do? Maybe this is me being just my own version of idealist and INFP, but yeah, I appreciate that level of appreciation for the uniqueness of each individual person. I've talked a little bit about that in past videos, but my big interest in asking you what motivates you is what does that look like day to day through action? Because can we be motivated just by just, I don't know, um, making a difference without actually taking an active role to plan out how we're going to make a difference, to set aside time to manage. We're really talking about conscientiousness here, extroverted thinking here. Can we really be motivated as idealists in the world if we don't sort of try to have this level of learning to manipulate really the outside world? You know, and this is something that is really relevant to me. It might not be for you, but it seems to be relevant for me. So that's what kind of spurred the video, me thinking about that. Yeah, appreciate your contribution. Austin. Indeed, we are unique. It's very interesting how we're all so unique, isn't it? There's so many of us. Dumbfounding. Dreamer, Chad, AN from Japan. What's your name? The one from Japan. The person, I'm sorry. Do you think it's possible to find motivation from within yourself, so to speak, without having to rely on outside forces? Yes, I think it's possible, but it's not very sustainable. So much of what we do, we're looking for feedback. Whether or not we're aware of it in the moment, we're looking for feedback. Like I was saying before, motivation is very much, not only is it tasks, it's social. So I would say yes and I would say no, but at the same time, I would be very interested in grounding my understanding of tasks in some level of sociality. Yes, I would say you can be motivated as an individual, absolutely, but I wouldn't say it'd be very easy. It'd be harder. The more effective and practical step would be to kind of share in some kind of goal-oriented behavior with other people, Like, for example, I might read a book, but I want to share, I want to talk about it, and I would say that's more reinforcing than just writing about it on my own or something like that. ICO. Oh, what is that, ALCO? That's different. Very nice. What's the weather like in Japan? I wonder. I've heard that Japan has higher rates of suicide. Have you heard that? That's an interesting topic. Why are the Japanese more prone to suicide? Suicide is terrible. You know, as many of you know, I'll be going into inpatient psychiatry as a registered nurse pretty soon, and it's it's gonna be interesting to see and hear the stories. You know, I think I'll feel very useful in that setting. Certainly won't be the ideal setting, but I think I'll feel useful. I'll feel like I'm using what I'm good at. Maybe motivation is more about finding a balance between internal and external driving forces. Yeah, yeah, balance. That's always a wonderful word for me. It makes sense. It's like, why have activity in the world without a level of inactivity? You know, something like that. Heavy rain, mostly cloudy since the mega hurricane hits here. Oh man, that sounds crazy. Wow. Do you like the rain? I think being or living according to my value, or striving at least, helps me feel like I'm living according to my purpose. Music also allows me to express things deep within. Beautiful. Yeah. Living according to my value, or striving. I think that's a beautiful word, striving. What is it? There's this church I go to. I've gone to a few different Catholic churches in the area. One of them is a cathedral downtown, which is beautiful. I love going to that one the most. But there's also another one in a more rural area, and above the altar there's like a window, and there's a quote around the window in it, and I always have looked at it. I've noticed it, always noticed it, and it says something like, I can't remember the quote. It's a Bible verse, clearly. I just wish I could remember it, but it says something about persistence, you know, to be persistent in faith. And I was thinking about that, you know, I talk a lot about faith and hope and all this, but really, you need discipline to have an authentic faith. You need discipline. You need a rule to follow. You need that will. You know, you gotta will the good. Otherwise, it's sort of just this idea. And I know, you know, deep down in my heart when I have been inconsistent, you know, in my faith. And it's not a surprise because, you know, we are definitely not perfect as human beings, but we aspire to perfection through being consistent within our relationships, within what we do day to day, consistent with ourselves, right? Consistent with ourselves. I don't know, it just seems like to me that's where the real peace is going to come from. Consistency with myself. Getting rid of all that cognitive dissonance, you know? Forgiveness and patience makes us a great person. It's unfortunate to see some people act mean. Yeah, it is. It's hard to see that. I'm definitely not someone who becomes very angry very easily. So, aggression is certainly not my vice. You know what I mean? And I'm back on the bed. That's cool you were Catholic, Joe. I think accepting that love of Christ, the grace helps us forgive our downfalls and extend that to others too. Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, we can talk about love conceptually, but love is very real when we forgive others, when we're patient, when we're just really honest with ourselves, you know, that honesty, that repentance that is just central to the faith. We're repentance, turning away. How do I turn away? And it's not just what I do, it's like what I think too. How do I start to think loving thoughts, cultivating a way of being that is more loving and patient and positive, but not in like the manic sense, but in the like, I'm going to appreciate people. I'm going to love people because I don't know how much time I have here. Um, but first things first, if you're married, love your wife, right? That verse, love your wife, is in the Bible. And there's always a lot of flack for that, for the other part of the Bible verse, but it says wives should obey their husbands. And I always, think that's such a beautiful verse because it speaks to this understanding of what is lacking in a lot of our lives, is this deep respect for one another, deep love for one another. Um, and if that's there, generally speaking, within the home, people learn to have faith, you know. People learn to have faith. It's tough. It's tough out there in the world. So, we all have to get busy loving one another and being, humble, true, but the true kind, not the false kind. Authenticity reminds me of revelations of Christ knocking on our hearts. The more we authentically let God in our lives, the more He's part of all of us, and the more we are changed to extend to others. Yeah, beautiful. Authentically let God in our lives. It does seem like this INFP temperament is sensitive to this lack of authenticity, the moral corruption, the just hypocrisy in the world. And if we turn away from that with our deep empathy, there's such a capacity for love, forgiveness, I don't know about you. I've spent a lot of my life being very sensitive to people, very sensitive to pain in all its forms, drawn into it even. I'm not one to really ignore pain, It's very interesting. Those religious questions are very relevant to me. They are very interesting to me. They seem to offer the ultimate answers to difficult questions of life. Love one another. Yes. So funny. You get a bunch of INFPs together, start talking about authenticity, and everyone's like freaking out. It's great to be who you are. Don't you worry, because you are perfect the way you are. Not perfect, but you're unique. You're special. You're you. Austin says, from an INFP view, it seems like many people I feel do not look into them. Yeah, there's a lack of looking inward, and this is difficult because there's so much going on the outside. Our attention, I would say, is constantly being directed outside of ourselves in forms of media, through social media. Our attention is being pulled outside of ourselves. And in a lot of ways, it's being pulled outside of ourselves because we're disrespecting, I would say, our bodies. We're also disrespecting one another because if we pay attention to one another, our neighbor, if we pay attention to our family, if we really pay attention to one another, we will actually start to look inside of ourselves too. I think it's like this beautiful process where if we are actually striving to be a part of one another's lives, we actually have to focus on ourselves. And I think what you're basically talking about is you're sensitive to the fact that there is a lack of intimacy in the world. That's the way I look at it. It seems like people are so surface level, doesn't it? But it's kind of not the case. There's just a lack of structures in the society to promote sharing, to promote There's a lot of brokenness. There's a lot of pain out there. a lot of hardened people, you know, and a culture which doesn't necessarily take the necessary time to promote the connection, you know, and the healing in the community that people think are meant for. It's tough. Yeah. So, let's see. Hey, that's what I'm asking you. What motivates me primarily, and I think the reason I made this video is because I was seeing what motivates me is not only being engaged in a social process, because that seems to be the most motivating process for me. Having relationships in my life, being a part of people's lives, having intimacy is what motivates me. But also, on the other hand, having my own agenda, having my own individual path that I am pursuing, regardless of what other people might feel or think, having that strong will or commitment to some kind of vision is also something that motivates me. But you have to ground that vision in practical day-to-day discipline. And this is kind of what I'm kind of being reflecting on tonight is, you know, what do I do day to day to ground myself, to put myself in a really grounded position of motivation, right? It's very easy for me to dream, to see what's wrong with the world. It's very easy. But what's hard is to say, okay, I'm going to make a difference, and then believe it enough to make that small little change day to day, you know, through some kind of action, behavior, discipline. That's the hard part. There's just so much to people beneath the surface, but so much takes our attention, superficial things. Indeed, yes, that's exactly what I was saying. Monocultural society. Mono, that's a one culture. You think the fact that it's not very diverse in culture suppresses the character? Or is it just the way the culture itself? There's something about Japanese culture? Interesting. Clara Bell. Love the name, by the way. You agree? Yes, agree 100%. It's easy to get caught up in the big picture goals and forget the small dated things can also make a huge impact. Yeah, because there's no way you're going to move forward without the small things. You know, there's no way you're going to be healthy if you don't eat the healthy food, but you gotta learn how to shop. You gotta learn how to, you know, budget your and plan your meals, you know, if you want to have that level of control over your health. The details, you know, they matter. Um, you know, you want to do well in school, you got to think about a week or two ahead, and then you got to study ahead of time. I mean, that's tough for me. Really studying ahead of time is tough. I mean, I've done it, but, you know, have I been consistent? It's tough. Good point. Seeing a vision helps keep you on the path of where you were going. Maybe seeing it in a color, like more detail, helps to stay the course. Yeah, give it some reality. You need to give it some reality. That's it. Yep, Austin, that's what we need. We need that little bit of reward along the way. Clara Bell, have remind myself that my job, daily interaction with people are meaningful. Ah, yes. Yes. So you're not always going to be able to have that ideal kind of environment or job, at least immediately. I mean, you have that long-term vision, but along the way, you might be doing other things, but there's meaning there in those interactions, yes. For example, I'm working as a nurse in the intensive care unit. of a neuroscience department. So I'm seeing people like with strokes and brain injuries and stuff. And it's very hands-on work. That's nursing for you. But I have those moments of therapeutic interaction with the patient. I have those moments of interaction with the families, and I love it. I love it so much, and I feel truly like I'm doing that work that I meant to do. The nursing work, the hands-on work it's so-so, but I'm there and I can play a very important role in a very difficult and stressful time in a person's life, and that, you know, I like that. There's something to that that's very Joey-like. I set every Broncos. Yeah, that, that's why I brought it up. I thought, we could have a very real conversation about how we all struggle to be motivated in the world. Um, it's probably very similar. I don't think Jung was stupid when he was able to see that there's this process of feeling that overwhelms the thinking, at times. Childcare, very nice, beautiful. Clara Bell. So you must be young. If you're studying, or maybe not, I don't know. How old are you, Clara Bell? Are you in college? I always feel like there's so many foreigners on here. Foreigners, I'm sorry. You're people too. I'm giving you a hard time. I'm the foreigner. I'm the foreigner, okay? That's how I should approach it. Hmm. Oh no! I'm not surprised. Ah. That's beautiful though. I mean, work in childcare, that's perfect. You can make a very modest salary if you become like a babysitter, professional babysitter or something. That's nice, interacting with customers. I always think it's interesting. I find myself very patient with people, but I'm not very patient with myself in pursuit of my goals. I'm not very patient. I want it now. You know, it's interesting how that works. I've been gifted with this ability to be patient with others, but I'm not very patient with myself. Dreamer, I would like to get a job as an art teacher because I've always feel my art teachers motivate and inspire me. Hey, that's beautiful. That's a good story. You should. And if you can't, maybe do it part time. I'm sure there's a way. Alan, it's hard to appreciate the good in people sometimes when you encounter and or have to work with people with no integrity and very murky values. Do you think they have no integrity? Like at all? I mean they might be pretty bad people, but no integrity? Murky values? I hear you, but maybe you're being overly critical. And I say this because it's just healthy. Sometimes you have to look at people a little more positively. But at the same time, you have to be able to be critical too. You need that balance. I'm saying this because I've spent a lot of time being critical myself. Uh, and you should be. You're an idealist, but maybe try to see the best in people along the way. Yes, same. Struggle with being self critical where I would give someone else leeway. We have to try to be as forgiving with ourselves as we are with others. True that. True that. I've been way too hard on myself the past couple of weeks. I'm working on doing better. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yes, patience with ourselves. What fruits that will bring in the world if we can actually do it. All right, guys, we're sitting in Indian style, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Well, Clara Bell, are you a one wing? Let me know. Curious. There's got to be something to that one wing. You know, that critical one wing. Let's talk about that, Clara. I want to know more about you. Tell me about your one wing. As far as you can tell. No problem. Yeah, I'm a 9-1. As far as I can tell, ones are very interested in standards. That moral sort of, like wanting to be a moral person and wanting to do things the right way, being very critical in some sense of others, institutions. It's like this critical quality, standards, perfectionism. It's there. And we love it. We love that perfectionistic quality towards some kind of noble ideal. I would say there's this desire to be philosophical, but oriented towards philosophy through the domain of ethics, I would say. Ethical philosophy appeals to the one wing. Religious ideals. Yeah. I don't know. I think ones are very respectable people. People perceive 9-1s as being very respectable, I think. Yes, yes, indeed. Like I've talked about here, being virtuous, being a virtuous person, being a good person is it's the one structure. Exactly. And that's okay. I enjoy it. I don't mind it. I don't find myself tortured by the one. The one kind of helps me to move forward and to present myself in a way that is coherent, you know? I remember recently one of my friends asked me how I can love others so much but not love myself the same. And it kind of dumbfounded me. Interesting. That's a good friend right there. That's the kind of friend you want in your life. The one that's going to help you see yourself a little better. Clarify it. I see. Well, I suppose I should let you guys go. But I appreciate you coming on, sharing your thoughts. It's always nice to have that communication, you know. Yes, and the flaws one does see in themselves are often ones they see in themselves. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Interesting. Are you a 4? The guy from Japan. People don't like or dislike people because of their flaws, but rather despite them. Interesting. If we change the way we see others and we change the way we see ourselves, we really do change reality in a way that we don't always think a whole lot about. We were talking about living on the outside earlier. we tend to live on the outside. But if we go inside and we shift the gears and we shift our mind's eye and we kind of think, we learn how to love others and ourselves a little better, we start to be more satisfied with our lives. At least I do, exponentially. Going inside is safe for me. I need to do it more. Huh, yes, secretly arrogant. I have had people say I can come across that way, and it always kind of freaks me out because it's like, I'm the 9. I'm not arrogant. You know, what are you talking about? But I suppose it's a real thing. It's there sometimes. I don't think I am arrogant. I think it's just the way I might be expressing certain moral ideas, you know. You gotta be careful. Man, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Which is fine. Totally fine. I'm just getting kind of hungry. How about this? Comment your favorite snack, healthy snack. Like, what kind of snacks do you love? Comment them. Not comment them. Message them? Chat them? Oh man, chocolate pretzels. That's what's up. Salty and sweet. A bag? A whole bag? Take it easy, okay? Maybe it's a small bag. I don't know. Strawberries. I mean, honestly, it doesn't have to be healthy. What's your favorite snack? I'll admit, I love my ramen sometimes. Sometimes I'll be like, let's have some ramen, and I'll sit there, and it's salty and, like, yummy. But I always say, like, I have a healthy heart, so I can have high degrees of sodium. So it's okay. It's probably not really okay, to be honest with you. Interesting. Whoa, cookies and ice cream. That's hardcore. If you have a healthy heart, you got a healthy brain, so it's fine. Interesting. Sounds good. All right, we got a new comment here. Represent Evie, Evie, etc. Evie. I find it harder to answer that kind of question. I love so much kind of snack. That can't be my favorite one. Yes, I agree. It's very difficult. So what you have to say is, if you had to choose one, which one would you choose? But you don't have to commit to it being your favorite snack. What is one of your favorite snacks? Better phrased. I keep yawning. Oh, man. Okay, guys. I'm feeling kind of like I need to, I don't know, I just don't feel that good. I should probably chill out or something. So I'm going to let you guys go. But I want to encourage you, if you haven't said anything, to say something. And to, of course, you know, have a great life as well. Thank you, Mr. Haynes, Austin Haynes. I appreciate it. Shout out to Austin Haynes for being kind and interested in authenticity, because we need more of that. I think we need more of that, you know? Good morning. Good morning. Wow. Starting the morning with Joey's live stream. Honored, I must say. This was enough? Clara, come on. So you got a journalism, you got a writing, you got an English degree, I'm sorry. English degree. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Thank you very much. Let's do this. I'm curious. How old is everyone here? I'm curious to know how old you guys are. Let's see. Can I chat? I wish I could chat. 23, 32. Solid. I'm 26 right now. 36, okay. We got a new comment here. It's just after midnight for this person. So, where is it just after midnight? If it's gotta be in Europe, I suppose. Hey, have a great night. Take care. Woy Ram M Gutsi. That is a difficult one. Woy Ram. Yeah, good night. Good night, my friend. Nice. We're all in the similar age range. I've got one brother, by the way. Yeah, one brother. I don't know. People tend to perceive me as being a little older these days, which always surprises me. I don't know. It always surprises me. I don't think I have a very old look, but people say I could be like 30, which is weird. I don't feel like I'm 30 yet, but I suppose that'll come before I know it. I mean, will I look that different in like 4 years? Probably not. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I certainly have a young sort of vibe, you know? Like playful vibe sometimes. They say type 9s are more naive in their temperament. Like, people are like, you know, perceive 9s as that way, you know? What is up? How's it going? I'm actually about to go, but thanks for stopping by. What motivates you? Yeah, what motivates you? Of course, the longer you stay on, more people will show up, so that's pretty nice. How about this? I'll just lay back for a few minutes and see. Yeah, that's nice. See, this is what doesn't make sense. I had coffee, you know, like, so why am I tired? I guess it's reasonable. I actually exercised. So that might be why. What will I be proud of when I die? Oh, man. Yes, thinking about death can frame things. I feel like your hair color got darker since this first video, which makes you look mature. It's not. I don't think it's darker. I don't think so. I mean, maybe? There's definitely grays in there now, which is kind of freaky. Like, I have white hair here. It's like in there. It's possible. I don't know, I get these moods and I like go clean shaven and I'm like, all right, yeah, feeling young, this works, but I'm not in that mood. Me too. I love it. Very ENFP. Nice. I'm not ready either. It's alrighty. It's alright. Yeah, I just keep yawning. Maybe I'll watch a movie. That sounds nice. Yeah. Watch a movie, boil some pasta. Yeah. Yeah, too bad I don't have any pasta. No. Coffee also exhausts me in the long run. Yeah, you're right. I mean, coffee is certainly... I have a weird relationship to it. I can't say it's the healthiest right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's the coffee you really got to stay hydrated along the way because it messes with your cortisol a lot. You know? Oh, Clara, I understand. Twitch? Oh my. What's up, USA gal? Thanks for commenting. Making someone else's life happier, being accepted when I'm just being me. Hey, I kind of remember you commenting on my last video and you said something about I remember your comment being very sweet and it made me like feel really warm and stuff. So thanks for your sweet comment. I just remember your comment being very sweet. So keep being sweet. It's very nice. It's nice for me to read, I must say. Oh man, we're moving. So I've got a couple roommates and it's the weekend and they left and they haven't been back pretty much all day. And it's just weird because it's like they don't usually leave on the weekends without taking the puppy. Hello. So we have this puppy here and he just hangs out and then he'll bark and get all moody. And he's not my puppy, so it's like I can't take care of him. But it's weird, you know. I don't know. It's like it's this weird. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I'm happy to know. His puppy's name is Udang, by the way. It's got to be Korean or something. Udang. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So stay hydrated, my friends. Yeah, I'm glad too. By the way, USA gal, what are you, like a patriotic person? Or like that's a very interesting name. Honestly, I want to feed you a cookie and watch. I'm glad you guys can appreciate the puppy. If only the puppy was peaceful. Okay, I'll bring you down to meet the puppy. All right. Check out this interesting painting. Isn't that interesting? Every night I go to bed and I just like stare at it and I'm like, I wish I could walk through. You know? Wouldn't that be nice? Blues could do. You can too, right? Blues? Blues Clues? Can we get a like for Blues Clues? I know that's weird, but we should. It is cool. I agree. All right, now we're downstairs. We're in the land of the puppy. Okay. Let's see. It's funny. Probably my favorite part of knowing this puppy are his ears. And look at the angle he's on right now. You know what I mean? Like what an angle to be like chilling in your bed on. I wasn't gonna see a movie, I was just gonna go on my laptop and look, he's just chilling. Look at those ears. Hey you dang. Hey. Look at the ears. Hey. Ah yes. What's up, floppy ear pup? What's up, you dang? Look at you. Look at you. Hey. Look at him go. He's so funny. I can say with full confidence, children and animals make me happy. So I really want to be a dad. Can we get a like for that? Because we need that. I think we need people who want to be parents, right? He is pretty cute, isn't he? He's so tiny. That's what's funny about Udang. He's tiny, but then he gets all like ferocious and like scary. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is, wanting to be in the present. I want to know what you guys think. So I'm very into brain health, as you guys know. I can't shut up about wanting to be a holistic and functional mental health, basically, provider. And I'm so passionate that I buy sardines and I eat them straight. And it's great. I don't mind it, personally. I think sardines are good. in olive oil. You could also cook them down. You guys think I'm crazy? Because I think most people think I'm crazy. But I think they're crazy, to be honest with you. I think they're crazy because they don't prioritize getting their fatty acids, right? Oh, I also got some beef I actually need to cook. So that's what I'll do. I'll cook that beef. I need to cook the beef before it goes bad. It might be going bad. I don't know. Does beef go bad? I don't know. See, I like that you guys are pro sardines. This is good. This is good. These are my people right here. We made it to the fridge. I don't know how we got here, but I eat a lot of hummus. I buy this brand, but honestly, I should be making it on my own. Shout out to everyone who eats hummus, right? Big fan of hummus. What we're gonna do actually is we're gonna actually get a bag of carrots, have some hummus. Who's with me? Everyone, grab your carrots, grab your crushed chickpeas, and snack with me. Hell yeah. Hummus time. Woo! Okay. The pine nut's pretty good, I agree. Mostly I agree. So you guys might think I'm weird, but I've tried to get into the habit of preserving my food supply because I'm cheap. So I always try to measure out my serving size. If I can find oh, yeah, there it is. Licorice. I must say, licorice is pretty good. I guess it depends on the context. But yeah. You know, you had no idea you were going to be hanging out with Joey on Saturday night eating hummus. You had no idea. Neither did I, to be honest, but we made it. I feel like I'm doing a food review. What if I did mindful eating live streams? As I was just sitting here like mindfully eating carrots and hummus. Mukbang, is that a guy? I don't know. I'm not very familiar with all. YouTube, basically the biggest YouTubers are the most absurd. You know, they just talk about nothing. Oh, man. Frugal mukbangers. Interesting. No, I must say I'm enjoying myself a lot right now. I don't know if it's the food, you guys, or what, but we took it to the next level right here. I mean, I was definitely hungry, you know? I should plug you in, though. I think my phone is on like 5%. You're telling me, Clara. You're telling me. This is the thing. It's like, I don't feel comfortable. Therefore, don't want to be doing anything. It's this terrible type 9 dilemma. You know, can we get a like for being a type 9? Because shout out to the 9s. Shout out to the 9s. Go walk in a park because that's what you need. It's like take your local 9 to the local park, you know? You'll be their friend forever. Oh, yeah? Thanks. Good. 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 What's a type 9? Honestly, I'm still trying to figure it out. It's crazy. We're talking about the Enneagram. Most INFPs, when they take this typology test called the Enneagram, they score that they're type 4s, type 5s, type 9s. You get some 6s in the mix too sometimes. Well, if you're a 9 INFP, you're archetypically the peacemaker. Your ego structure is not to have an ego, so you don't have preferences. You have a hard time making decisions and doing things for yourself and all that. Generally conflict avoidant. You're having fun. Cool. Bye. Glad you're having fun. That makes me feel good. Hope to be able to chat more. Oh, it's kind of you. You also have a great night, okay? Keep up the sweetness. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't taken the Enneagram, it's pretty interesting stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I think if you combine it with typology, you get a pretty good understanding of the person, like what drives people. If you're a 9, you're all about being comfortable, basically. Oh, okay. Okay. It's certainly possible. Yeah, it is. It's certainly more, there's more clarity, I think, with that ego structure. Yeah. It's certainly pretty cool. I mean, I'd be careful with it, though, obviously. I don't know. It's very new agey. Right. Right. Claire, I've been trying to figure that one out. It doesn't matter how you see the world rationally. What matters is that you can step outside of yourself and love others, you know? And the self might look a little differently depending on the person, but I don't know. I would say we shouldn't focus too much on what we can understand rationally. Right. Honestly, Claire, that's very much something I've thought about. So that's pretty interesting. We probably have very similar, like, patterns or whatever. Which is weird and trippy, because I don't really know you, you know? I think they might actually be more reliable. I've never taken an official test. You can go to eclecticenergies.com. That's where I have, usually where I redirect people to try to figure out their Enneagram. I'm in Cancer. I don't really think much of the astrology stuff. But I know I'm a Cancer. So, that's all I got. Oh boy. Weird coincidences. Watch out. As far as I can tell. True. As far as I can tell, we should be careful with theories
because we don't want to be separated from reality. Reality to me is how do I, despite living in this subjective sea of me, ground myself in some kind of objective reality. That kind of rhymed. You should be weirded out anyway. That's interesting. Well, I'm gonna put away my carrots and then plug you in. I think you're gonna die on me real quick. Sorry.
Okay. Onward. Okay. Oh, bye, Dang. Okay. I'll say goodbye to you, Dang. And we're back at the painting. All right. Where's my? Did I plug it up here?